Today we're going to talk about ending punctuation. So we know that you should always end a sentence with punctuation. So that can be with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. So in order to know what type of punctuation you're going to use, you need to know what kind of sentence it is. So let's take a look at our first sentence. The boy sat is a telling sentence. It's just telling you something. So if you see a telling sentence, it should always end with a period. Telling sentences are the most common sentences that you're going to write or read or see. So you'll see a lot of periods. So remember, we use a period if it is a telling sentence, and we'll talk a little bit more about those sentences in a minute. Sometimes sentences are asking something. They're asking a question, and those sentences will start with question words. So if the sentence is asking something like this example, who sat on the map? We use a question mark. If someone is asking something in the sentence, you're going to be using a question mark at the end because it's an asking sentence. And the other type of sentence we have is an exclamation. So this is our example of an exclamation sentence. I love it. So we use an exclamation mark at the end of sentences that show emotion. So emotions are how we feel. If you're happy, if you're sad, if you're angry, or you're excited, or if you can infer emotions from the sentence. Remember, to infer is it doesn't necessarily say it, but we can tell just by reading it what it means. So if someone says, I love it, they're probably really excited or really happy. So we can tell that there's emotion behind that. So we use the exclamation point at the end. So let's talk about the three different types of sentences a little bit more. So our telling sentences end a telling sentence or a statement with a period. So here are some examples. The dog ran. The sun shines. The bat flew. I like to read. So all of these sentences are just telling something, so they use a period at the end for these telling sentences. All right, and our question sentences, our asking sentences, end a question with question marks. So those sentences are going to start with our question words like who, what, when, where, how, did. All of those are question words. So if we see one of those words at the front, we know it's probably going to be a question sentence, like these examples. Who is it? Where is it? What is it? How are you? So all of these are asking the reader something. So because it's asking, we're going to always use a question mark at the end of these type of sentences. And our other sentences are our exclamatory sentences. So our exclamatory sentences show our emotion and they end with an exclamation mark. Remember things like being excited, being happy, or being scared or angry. Even if it doesn't use one of those words, if you can tell that there's that emotion behind the sentence, we're going to be using an exclamation mark. So here's some examples of those sentences. I am so happy. That makes me angry. I love you. I am scared. So all of these sentences have emotion in them. They have some type of feeling. So you use an exclamation mark at the end. Or remember, sometimes we can also use an exclamation mark if we're doing a sentence where something's really loud or someone's yelling. So for your activity, you're going to put the correct ending punctuation at the end of each sentence. So the first thing you need to do is read the sentence. And then you need to take the punctuation mark, either the question mark, the period, or the exclamation mark, and put it at the end of the sentence. So this sentence says, I see a dog. It's just telling you something. So because that's a telling sentence, we're going to take the period and put it at the end of the sentence. If it was asking something like, do you see the dog? If it wants to know something, it's a asking sentence, a question, so we would take the question mark and put it at the end. Or if it was something like, I was so excited to see the dog, that shows emotion, so we would use the exclamation mark. So you're going to read through the sentences and decide, is it telling me something? Is it asking me something? Or is there emotion in it? And choose the correct end punctuation to complete the sentence.